Hey guys, welcome back. Willie Creeman here, giving you more coverage on the NFL. Today we're going to cover the Pittsburgh Steelers, who finished 10-7 last year. That was good enough for third in the division. They ended up losing in the wild card round to the Bills, but I think they overperformed considering the quarterback carousel that they went through last year. Some of the big things, right? Their defense was solid, has been for many years now. The biggest thing for them was they really needed help on the offensive line, and that seems to be what they went out and got this year. They also needed a quarterback, right? A stable quarterback to be able to run this offense. They trade away Deontay Johnson to Carolina this offseason, but they end up backfilling with Van Jefferson, Quez Watkins, and then they bring in Cordell Patterson as well, that remains to be seen how good he's going to be considering the kickoff changes. But they also ended up signing Russell Wilson, and they get Justin Fields on the cheap from the Bears. Basically, they have no risk with either of them because Denver is paying the majority of Russell Wilson's salary, and they traded very little to be able to get Justin Fields. Kind of funny how much they would have paid last year had they had to trade for him, but the Bears end up waiting, his stock tanks, and they end up getting him for cheap. But one thing that I think needs to be mentioned is they ended up cutting their punter, Presley Harvin, and they bring in Cameron Johnston from Houston, who, if you look at advanced metrics, this is a massive upgrade at punter for them and should give them a big opportunity in terms of special teams going forward. One of the biggest free agent additions that they added was Patrick Queen at linebacker, who I think is just a versatile playmaker. Not only do they get him from Baltimore, but this is a guy that Mike Tomlin's had his eye on since he got into the league. So, really big pickup for them. In terms of the worst free agent addition, I think you got to go Russell Wilson here. And it's nothing against him. It's just, I don't think he was the main reason Denver struggled last year, but he was the scapegoat for it. I just think they could have done better in terms of trying to throw money at Kirk Cousins or trying to figure that piece of it out to bring in another established quarterback to be able to run this offense. Or maybe you don't go Russell Wilson at all and you just go Justin Fields. But in the long term of it, they're able to get both of them for fairly cheap, and hopefully they're able to make the best out of it. If it doesn't work out, they can cut them both, and it's no risk for them. The other unsexy answer for that question, for worst free agent addition is probably Arthur Smith too, right? As a head coach down in Atlanta, he had a ton of talent to work with. Really didn't do much with it, but where he really excelled was as an offensive coordinator when he was up in Tennessee with Derrick Henry. Hopefully he's able to rejuvenate his career with that here by being an offensive coordinator in Pittsburgh. So we'll see what he's able to do with the talent that they have. During the draft, they were able to address some of those concerns of the offseason on the offensive line. In the first, I thought they were going to go Graham Barton from Duke because I just thought he was a perfect fit for them. But instead, they go Troy Fontenot out of Washington. He's going to slide in as the starting left tackle for them at the beginning of the season. And then you look at Zach Frazier, too. Who they end up turning around in the second round and taking out of West Virginia. They got their starting left tackle and starting center. And don't forget, last year they ended up going Broderick Jones at right tackle. So they've got their bookends set to go. Two of the great emerging young tackles in the NFL. So the third round I really liked as well because they ended up taking Roman Wilson, who's a slot receiver out of Michigan. He ended up knocking out 12 touchdowns last year. And I think that's really going to help, pairing him with a guy like George Pickens on the outside, and then you got Fryermuth there too. Van Jefferson probably on the other side as the two. I think that's going to be really good to be able to give Russell Wilson some options. Obviously, the defense is going to be awesome. Can't wait to be able to see TJ Watt get out there and actually get his Defensive Player of the Year award. All right, guys, we'll be back with more.